Episode 4, No Limit Sports Podcast. We got the guys from Sportsplug 757. We got WTKR News 3 here. And, you know, guys, as we start episode 4 here, some tragic news coming out of Newport News today. And Tommy Reamon, obviously a guy who all of us, you know, enjoyed covering and you know his reputation here, not just in wins and losses, but also a guy that really cared about his community.
No, absolutely. It's definitely heartbreaking news to hear. Working closely, me and Tommy Reamon's son, Tommy Reamon Jr., we talk a lot. We talk every day and things like that. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to them and just, send out my thoughts and prayers to the family. But it was a huge thing, by the way. It was a huge thing, and you can see it within the comments, videos, and pictures and things that's been shared and things of that nature. Coach Reamon was one of the guys who definitely received a lot of flowers while he's here, and I think it's going to, 10 times that why he's no longer with us. But it's a lot of, respect for what he's done, growing up, and he's just been a great role model for so many, even, a great role model for the current role models that we have today. And, it's definitely a heartfelt situation, definitely.
Well, I mean, we all, I'm sure, have stories from our times, covering him or interviewing him, whatever the case may be. I think for me, I mean, one, what a kind guy, right? I mean, he was just such a nice guy, and he was always so appreciative. I mean, when he was at Denby those last 2 years, he was so appreciative of just, the attention, and it was all about trying to get the kids more limelight. It was all about, and even with the city-owned Manchester organization, it was all about trying to give, everybody more opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. I think it should be, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, some of the things, he has done. Just kind of listening to, different people that he's mentored. The camps he used to put on, they were free. He's put his own time. Time is something you can't give back. It's invaluable. And just to be able to say, I want to affect change in a community by giving my time and the resources that I do have so that other people that look like me and come from where he comes from have an opportunity that he might have had. That's one thing that should be, I think, just noted when talking about the life of Tommy Reamon. He's really a community man, and you see that with his actions, but also in like the people that he's and the people that he has mentored over these past few years. We're talking about players like, the Vicks, Mike Tomlin, Aaron Brooks. These are all players, that have gone on to have successful careers, but also look at the men that they are. Michael Vick, still Tommy Reamon was his mentor to the day that till today, the day that he went. And he was pretty pivotal in, Michael Vick taking his first job over at Norfolk State, and that's just something that, coming from the Tommy Reamon, the coaching circle, and just the area of mentorship that Tommy Reamon was able to provide is just it's nice to be able to see it just come full circle. So I think that's just the community man that he was. It speaks volumes. You can see it with the outpouring of people just from everywhere, from the school boards to teams to former players to coaches to news people, anybody that he was able to affect, and it's just really cool to be able to talk about the legacy that is.
Yeah. Keith?
I loved Coach Reamon. When I first started Sportsplug, like he was there. He was one of the first ones to mentor me. Like immediately, him and his son Tommy actually helped me create the logo. And
really?
a lot of people don't know that. Like he actually helped me make the logo, and the Reamons were just open arms. Mr. Senior actually, he taught me the camp game, offers everything. Every kid that was around him, succeeded. And, as much as he could help them, and that was one thing I got from him. And he loved football. Like he coached it till he couldn't anymore. And I just loved that about him. And he was just everywhere. He was still moving until he couldn't. Like he was. I mean, stepping. Yeah, he was making it happen. Camps everywhere. He was doing his thing. And I just like you said, he was a real nice guy. He was very nice. I never seen him without a smile.
Right.
I've never seen him mad. I never at all the maybe Junior probably can't say different.
I was going to say, Tommy Jr. might be able to say something
he said,
different.
he tells me all the time. He said, man, he told me all the time. He said, man, he's just so nice, man. But different with me, man. It was hard. But everybody see, I see, yeah, man. But that was one of the biggest things I got from just how nice he was, to everyone, every kid, like everywhere he go, like it's a star on the team. Like they go to school, like he know how to get kids in school. I just, there's a lot of things I want to take from him. to carry the legacy on myself, from watching him all these years.
He had that distinctive voice, right?
Yes.
You knew you were talking to Tommy Reamon. You mentioned that smile, and what makes me sad, I mean, even more so, was just we talked to him back in December, and he was just so excited to see Mike Vick get into the coaching ranks, and he said we were in his living room, and he pointed right to the chair, and he said he was right there. We were talking just a week ago about coaching, and he was picking my brain on it, and he was so excited to see Mike Vick coach. And I would like to think, Mike hasn't commented on it yet. He just wants his privacy right now, just to let everything settle in, of course. But I think he'll be thinking of Tommy when this is all happened in his first season, right? Because I just remember how excited he was to see Mike Vick take the coaching ranks. I think that's a shame. That bums me out that he's not going to get to see that.
No, absolutely. And I mean, again, and just to add on, it hits big. Not only did he, love this game and coach it to literally he couldn't anymore. Even as a player, he continued to inspire others. I mean, just doing it after, coaching for 35 seasons, that's a big thing. As a coach, he's went through it, and he's at over 184 wins in those seasons, moving on to rebuilding programs like his last season at Denby, right? Helping them snap that 3-season curse that they had going on.
A lot of coaches wouldn't have took that position.
Absolutely.
But
100%.
Absolutely.
That's the person that could affect the change and give back to his community even in that way.
Well, and do you remember how he came about that job, right?
Yeah.
Part of that was Mike Tomlin.
Yes,
Part of that was Mike
yes,
Tomlin
yes.
encouraging him. And,
Full circle moments.
he's standing there and he's like, Mike Tomlin asked me, will you accept this challenge? And I just think that's so cool.
Yes, it is.
To be able to be even, I'm going to let you finish, Drew, but to be able to be just humble enough in that moment, because so many coaches could be like, my legacy is already cemented, I'm good. But no, he was the community man to the end, even in a job like Denby that doesn't look too attractive. It takes guts to take jobs like that. And he showed that with his very last actions. And so as a coach, and I just think that's...
Coach was a prime coach, and I think that he had a success getting kids out of school and just giving them that opportunity because he led from a player's perspective. A lot of coaches, of course, were previous players, down the line, but for him, just doing a lot of things. We went to Missouri. He's in the JUCO Hall of Fame, right? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we were talking. I didn't even know there was a JUCO Hall of Fame.
Right, absolutely.
Thanks to Tommy Reamon. Now
Tommy
I do. Right?
Yes, sir.
1975, round 9, pick 223. He was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. These are big things at the end of the day that help build a legacy. And this is what I would definitely consider a legend. And a legend builds legends, right? When we talk about the Michael Vicks, the Aaron Brooks, and things of that nature. This is he did his job. He did his job. He did his job, and again, another shout out to Tommy Reamon Jr. He left a son who is more than prepared to live on that legacy, and I love what he has for the community, and I love what he has in store for the community as well as what he's doing over in Norfolk State helping out Michael Vick. So it's a full circle thing,
Well, and did you guys see Tommy's statement today? Tommy Jr.'s statement today. That. I feel like I, teared up just reading that about him talking about how his dad was his hero and everything. And you guys have a better window and a better idea of what Tommy Jr. might be thinking than I would, but just from reading his statement, holy cow! Like what you could tell the bond there. And they bonded over football so much too, right? You talk about being at Gloucester, and then I want to say that. Was Tommy Jr. part of ODU's first recruiting class? I could be right. I would have to go back and look. But either way,
that's a good fact if it is, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah. So but you could tell they bonded over football, and then they both teamed up. And they really are working hard to make that peninsula a better place. You know what I mean? And that's pretty
cool. You talk about a powerful team. You're looking at. I got a chance to see that dad and son combo that you would see on TV, things like that. Just that that well tight knit. Honestly, it was no question whose son he was, right? He just mirrors him so much, and it's really good to see that is happening, in our community. That can happen, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people, fathers and sons, of course, that would like to remember that type of relationship. I know it hits them tough, of course. Nobody, takes a loss like this easily. But like I said, he's a strong guy, and he's definitely prepared. So if anything, I'm pretty sure he's ready to, just go on and live out what he promised. Just go full steam, ahead. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time, but trust. He's he'll be good for sure.
Also curious to see if Mike Vick does anything, will there be an emblem on the back of helmets or something like that? Will he do anything? Now, I know, Coach Reamon wasn't affiliated with Norfolk State, officially, so to speak, but I'm curious to see if they do anything there, too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think he deserves the Mike Smith treatment from Newport News, like name a field after him, like Todd Stadium's field, or something like that, because he definitely put work on the map, Denby on the map, like he definitely put Newport News on the map for sure.
Well, and to your point, Key, he also kind of oversaw that transition with when Newport News back, I guess, in the early 90s was like reshuffling their schools. Ferguson closed down. He and Mike Vick went to Warwick. So, he was there through all that transition, too. And, what a powerful figure in there, right?
Yes.
And it's not always the easiest when you're thrown an obstacle to transition. Some people, will cower out, but he, stepped up to the plate. I just think it's really important to note, we could be sitting here and talking about the coach that he was, and we could be sitting here talking about the football player and the career that he had, but the impact that he had on community is really, we hope, it's something that me and the fellas and just our family kind of focus on, the community aspect of it. It's here. And we should be able to, uplift each other, affect community, use whatever it is that if you're an athlete, you can affect it in the coaching realm. If you're a caretaker, you can affect it, from the medical perspective. And it's just, what are people going to say about you when you're gone? And I think, this speaks for itself, just the man that he was, it transcends sports. It's talking about humanity, and it's just a very powerful symbol that he was for this area specifically. And
absolutely.
I can appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt at all. And is there also something to be said about spanning 4 decades and just how different kids and have been in those 4 decades and having to adjust? Now you're Tommy Reamon and you've coached, some of these big names. So
I feel like you're working on yourself.
Your pedigree comes along with it, but I'm sure he had to do some adjusting too. With the different as kids evolved and as kids changed.
Yes. Just being in the time and the way he started, I'm pretty sure it's a whole lot different than this microwave era that we're in now. And so I'm pretty sure the Denby journey that he had is compared to Lansdowne was similar in a lot of ways, but I'm pretty sure it was different in a whole lot of ways as well. Just the expectation of things out of these coaches. They want it fast. So that's why taking a coaching job is very important when understanding all the things that that goes into it. But Coach Reamon did well at taking that type of heat, taking that type of pressure, and being able to make the most out of all those moments, and obviously all the athletes that he's coached and whatnot. So give or take, but definitely.
Yeah, rest in peace, Coach. Yes,
absolutely.
Sir.
Tommy Reamon, we're all thinking about you and your family, and hope everybody's hanging in there. And Coach has left a legacy that will outlive us all. So it's been a lot of fun, sharing stories and hearing from you guys and your perspective about Coach and what he meant to Sportsplug. Key, I didn't even know that. That's so cool. I think that's an interesting little tie between Sportsplug and Tommy Reamon. And speaking of tie, obviously we talk about Michael Vick, learning under Coach Reamon. Now Michael Vick's school in Norfolk State, the basketball program, with an exciting announcement this week that Norfolk State and Old Dominion will renew their rivalry. So a lot of fun there on the basketball court. Obviously, you guys are 757 natives, so you know exactly kind of like the history of these two schools and everything like that. But it's going to be cool to see these two teams go back at it, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yes. Go ahead. I'll let you go.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Yeah, just for Norfolk State again. They've been doing well, previously in their time, and I know you had a few changes and a lot of hype going on over there. And I think that they, football and basketball, right? And I think that they're going to be able to capitalize off of that a lot. And one of those things being having ODU coming to their home court this season, I think that's going to, drive a lot of, ticket sales. It's going to drive a lot of momentum. A lot of the fan bases from both sides are going to be all wrapped up into it. And again, whether it's ODU or it's NSU or whether you're a Monarch or a Spartan, the biggest thing about it is coming together, of course, in a safe space, of course, but and hashing those things out professionally, right? And having fun while doing it. So I think it's going to be a really good matchup. I think we're all three of us, maybe all four of us now, are going to be in attendance to something like that.
No doubt.
And that's going to be on the calendar. I'm really excited for it. It's a big opportunity for Norfolk State, but ODU has to take care of business as well when they step into that. So and I believe that Norfolk State is going to be visiting ODU.
Yeah,
as well.
November 11th of this year
ODU
is going
first.
to be at ODU,
Okay.
and November 11th of 2026
Gotcha,
will
so-
be at Norfolk State. I want to say it's only the third time ever Old Dominion will visit Norfolk State.
Okay.
Right.
That's
Yeah. Honestly, it's a home game for both teams. So I mean,
Yeah, and it's going to be packed. You're exactly right.
They're not far from each other, so I mean, it's going to be like packed. And I honestly wish it was like a yearly rivalry because that's two of the one of the biggest colleges in our area, especially in the 757. Like ODU versus NSU, like just being a Norfolk rivalry would be insane. Most of these kids already know each other.
Yep.
And probably see each other on the daily. I mean, they're not too far apart from each other in distance. So, I really would like to see this. You said they played against each other a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2022 they
Yeah,
played at
2022.
ODU, and it was
Yeah.
off the hook. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
so I think it'll be bigger this year because I know both teams have a lot of 757 natives. So, I think it'll definitely be a packed house.
Well, and piggybacking off that, Dom, I'm sorry, did you?
Nah, you go.
So piggybacking off that, Robert Jones, the head coach at Norfolk State, even said, "Hey, I'd like to see this kind of grow into like a 7-5. The Big Five
Yeah.
in Philadelphia.
There we go.
He'd like to see Hampton,
Yeah.
William and Mary, ODU, Norfolk State do like a little tournament each year. I like a 7-5-7 classic. I'm all for. Sign me up. Where do I sign to make this happen? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right? Absolutely.
That's the type of culture that I'm looking for. That's the type
together.
of things that we're looking for, and I mean, it's happening all over the places. I mean, we're in a day and age right now where when we first started Sportsplug, we would go to 8 different places in one day if we could, right, for a college day.
Yeah.
We only went to like 2 different places and saw maybe over 8.
Man,
That's
nice,
just what it is.
yeah.
It's a
Collaboration,
It's a collaborative effort, and again, that maybe this person might not be a fan of Norfolk State or ODU, but they came for a Hampton University game. Now they're sticking around.
Yeah.
Again, this just drives the opportunity for all the schools, and I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to sit down and put something together that they all would be able to benefit from and utilize.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. It's a good thing.
Athletic
It's a good
directors, head coaches,
Yes.
get on the horn
Yes.
here. Let's make it happen,
Absolutely.
right, guys?
Absolutely. It's nothing. I mean, it's nothing better than having something to look forward to. Something else. I mean, if you can add something to it and it doesn't deter or set any of the universities back too far or anything like that, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's do it.
And I don't think it would. I think it would further. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
So I got here in 2021, and I was pretty in tune with like state sports, but I just kind of saw ODU, NSU. I just assumed they played every year, like you were saying, Keith.
'Cause why
And
not?
why not? But I didn't know they've only played 5 times since the turn of the century,
Yeah.
Wow.
which blew me away.
That's
That
a
can
good
be.
fact.
You were talking about just how it would be cool to have like a 757 tournaments,
Yeah.
get all the schools, get all the ADs here. I think Dr. Melody Webb is exactly the right person over at Norfolk State. The AD is the perfect person to make that happen. Ever since she's taken over at Norfolk State during COVID year, it's been nothing but progression. Like it could be real easy for her to get stagnant with the latest moves that she's made, especially with the Vic thing. Yeah. But in recent years, we've seen their basketball team. The past 2 years, they're 24-11, and then the year before that, they're 22-11. They're seemingly reaching that ceiling. They were in the MEAC tournament this year. They had a MEAC berth this year and in 2022. So playing a team like ODU. I think it's their time. They have earned the opportunity because it's not often teams from a Power 4 or 5 like the Sun Belt will want to come play those little schools. But we're in the same area, so why not make it happen? It's good for the area. We've seen the facilities at Norfolk State have increasingly gotten better through the years. The turf field at the stadium. We see the softball team, the soccer teams, tennis teams.
Tennis is like off the hook, right?
The women's basketball team. So I think that Norfolk State sports, we seemingly hearing something about them every week, and it's been lovely to see. She's the first female athletic director at Norfolk State, and she could have been stagnant and said, I made history already, but she continues to, dig in and persevere and bring the opportunities to Norfolk State that they probably should have already had. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And it's just that's been the most wonderful part of it all. So I think that would be the right person. Maybe we should take that to her. I think these, I had written down that it'd be cool to see the teams through the state that are on, Division I, Division II, Division III, especially in sports like basketball and soccer and baseball where you get so many out-of-conference games. Just throw each other in there just because, we're in the same state. We'll continue to build, the pool of Virginia together. And so I think, this is a good step towards that togetherness. And I hope that it's something that they renew and it keeps going, and we get HU in, and we get
100%.
and we get Virginia Tech, and because you get those moments like that were created like from the ODU Virginia Tech game or the Battle of the Bay games that they still have, even though Hampton switched conferences, they still do that every year. So I think this could be a good start.
1 year at Scope, 1 year at Hampton Coliseum.
Yeah, let's do it like that. I think we should. We're gonna take a pitch to somebody, but this is a good place in which to start that. So
we're already on the roll.
It made me laugh because I posted some sound from Robert Jones and Mike Jones on Instagram, and somebody commented on there and said something. And Coach Robert Jones, he made me laugh because somebody said something like, "You got to work with the big men, Coach, and get them ready to play." And Coach goes, "Suggestion box always." What do you say? Suggestion box always full, donation box always empty. Everybody's got a suggestion. I like that. I texted him last night. I was like, "Coach, that had me rolling, man," and he was just kind of like, "Yeah, So I'll save all the details, but I just that made me laugh.
No, I definitely that one makes a lot of sense too. I've heard a lot of old saying. That sounds like an old saying too. I've heard a lot in my day, but I might have to add that one right now.
right. Put that in the repertoire.
Shout out, Coach.
So I think it's going to be a fun time. We're going to see that, and like I said, I mean, both, like you said, it's going to be a home team for both for both teams, Key, or home game for both teams rather. Both places will sell out.
Move it to the scope.
It'll be a lot of fun. Move it to the scope.
Yeah,
exactly. So
that would have smart.
Yeah, and the net ranking is funny. Real quick, I know I want to touch on real quick was the Norfolk State and the trouble they can have getting people to come play them, right? Because I mean, not everybody they're a good team. Mm-hmm. You were talking about their records recently, how they've been consistently good, and they can't get anybody to come play them because I mean, if you're you're putting yourself in a lose-lose situation, right? And Coach Jones said on social media the other day, he was like, you guys are too good. The excuse is getting old, right? So the fact that a group of 5 team is willing to kind of put themselves on the line and come there, I think it's fantastic.
I was just about to say, I mean, at least for ODU and for the Spartans, I would thank ODU for the opportunity, right? But they give the Spartans a chance to kind of amount to that. Yeah, if that makes sense. At the end of the day, yes, it does put ODU in a spot where, of course, they have to show why they're there, why they accepted it so confidently, right? But again, the Spartans get a chance to take a jab at what's to come. And again, and I'm pretty sure they want nothing other than to lose the narrative like that. So here's a jab at it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, have them play every year. I'm with it.
Yep,
I'm with it.
And I think also think the boys can be on the court with ODU. They just played the national champs. They made it there to the tournament. And also the girls made it to the tournament too while beating SEC teams. So I think I wouldn't be too big headed versus this team.
Let's not fool ourselves into thinking. I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
and because you talk about. I liked how you brought up the NCAA tournament game against Florida. Without that 24-5 run at the beginning of that game, I'm not saying Norfolk State would have won, but that sucker would have gone down to the wire.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
Don't
national champs.
No one's overlooking. No one in their right mind, let's say, is going to overlook Norfolk State.
Yeah, I mean the same probably would have happened to ODU versus Florida. It's the national champs. They beat the best.
Yep. 100%. Well, that's going to be a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun chatting with you guys. And again, as before we leave, we do want to offer our heartfelt condolences once again to the Reamon family and everybody who is dealing with the passing of Coach Reamon, and really enjoyed sitting down with you guys and talking about Coach tonight and reflecting on what he's meant to everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity just to share. With some people still may not know, but you feel it in the community when you go about it. So
100%.
That's what it's about.
100%, and a legacy that'll outlive us all.
Yes,
no doubt at all. We want to thank you guys for tuning into episode 4 of the No Limit Sports Podcast. Catch us every week between Sportsplug 757 and WTKR News 3. We'll catch you guys next time.
Enjoy.
Thank you.